up everybody, what's going on you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Erin, and aka also Bebo. I go by both names. If you're new to this channel, make sure to give this channel a thumbs up already before watching this video, because you already know it's gonna be lit. And also make sure to subscribe. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. So as you guys read by today's title, it's going to be, I mean, I don't get sad anymore about this, but that day, yes. So, oh geez, like, you know, that day, well, you know what, let's just get right to the video. Alright guys, so as you read by the title, well, it's actually a story time. So it was, my daughter was born on June 4th 2018, and then around June 26th or 7th, I believe, we were planning on going out of state to visit a friend, but you know, right then and there my daughter got sick. So me being a first-time mom, totally freaked out. You know, I got very scared. And I mean, she was drinking milk, but you know, she was just really fussy. But I don't know, for me, I was just like, oh, you know, something's wrong with her. I need to take her temperature, you know, I need to do this, that. You know, I was just freaking out. I was not calm. So then what ended up happening was I took the temperature, and you know, during this video I'll post some clips of videos of that day. And so I took a temperature, and it was like 101 point, I forgot whatever it was, I'll post it in the next like picture, but you know, it was like 101.6 or 4, I believe, or somewhere around there. And I freaked out because they told me that if it's 100.4 or above, bring her to the hospital. And I'm over here freaking out, like, you know, it's already 101 point whatever. And I was just like, no, we have to go to the hospital now. Like, I have to take her to the hospital. We rushed. Like, we took everything, you know, whatever you need, her diapers, this, like, oh, excuse me, a whole bag. And then we rushed to the hospital. And then when we got there, you know, we get sent to the triage, like the nurse, before we actually get sent to the doctors. So we went to the emergency room. So they took us to the triage. So at the triage, this nurse takes a temperature and she goes, oh, she's only like, you know, 99.8 or whatever, she's fine. And then I was like, oh, okay, then can I go home? And then she said, no, because you said that, because I said that, you know, she had a 101 point whatever fever, then they go by what we say, you know. And then we had to go see the doctor. So then we're waiting for the doctor. You know, I'm not really thinking too much about it, because I didn't even think, I just thought that they're just gonna check her and everything. But I didn't realize how critical it could be for a newborn, an infant, to get sick. You know, so I'm just waiting over there for the doctor casually and not, you know, knowing what's gonna happen. And then the doctor comes in, and then she goes, okay, can you undress your baby? And I'm like, okay, you know, they're just gonna take another temperature, sure, why not? So then they took her temperature, and then they were like, oh, it's again 99 point whatever, you know, she's normal. And I said, okay, then can we go home? And then she said, no, you guys, you know, have to wait. We have to do further tests to see what made it, you know, what made it get like to 101 point whatever when we took the temperature. So now I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, what kind of test? Like, you know, she's fine. You guys took the temperature and it was normal. But then the doctor comes in, and then she goes, I mean, they send 2 other nurses. So the doctor goes, all right, we're gonna, you know, send in 2 nurses, and then they're gonna do this thing or whatever. And I was like, okay. You know, at this point I'm starting to feel a little nervous. Now I'm starting to feel a little nervous. And then we go, I mean, we're in there, the nurse, you know, undresses her and then you know, takes the temperature like rectally, because when you're an infant they do it rectally for until about they're like, I don't know, a year or so, I believe so. And then they check their ears, eyes, mouth, everything. At this point my baby's crying because she does not like to be held. Like, you know, she wants to move freely. Once you hold her against her will, like, she just cries, like, you know, because she doesn't have the freedom to do what she wants to do. So she's over here wailing and crying, and then I'm starting to panic. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, you know, are you guys done? You know, I need my baby now. Like, it's okay, you know, I think she's fine. You guys didn't find anything wrong. The temperature came out normal, so I could just take her home. And then the nurse said, no, we have to do a blood test. So at this point, again, you know, my panic level is only increasing. And I waited and waited. And then this one nurse goes out while the other one sanitizing my baby's, they did it on the, wait, I forgot. I mean, they did it on the leg first. So now they're sanitizing her, like, thigh area. So they're sanitizing that area. And mistakenly, I touch, like, her thigh. And this nurse freaks out. She's like, ma'am, you cannot be doing this. I just sanitized this area. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think it was that huge of a deal. You know, because she sanitized like a whole entire area, not just that one particular spot where she could find the nerves. And then I'm like, okay. So then she goes, the other nurse comes in while, you know, she has this little rubber thing tied so that, you know, the baby, you can actually feel the baby's, what do you call it, nerves to get the blood, you know, to draw the blood from. And I'm thinking, okay, you have this little rubber thing. That other nurse still has not brought the needles. Why are you tying it now? Like, you know, I could literally see my daughter's thigh getting purplish. And then this other nurse comes back. She goes, where did you put the needles? To the other nurse. And at this point, I'm boiling. A, you don't have the needles ready. B, my daughter's like got this rubber thing. And C, her, like, you know, that rubber sanitized area, whatever it is getting purple. I yelled at the nurse. I was like, excuse me, can you take off that rubber? Because you guys don't have your together, okay? You guys don't have your beep together. So take that thing off right now. And then the nurse actually takes it off. And then, you know, she's like, now they're having a whole, like, conversation, you know, with each other, the two nurses. So one nurse goes, okay, hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go look for it. And then she goes, and then she comes back. And then, again, when she goes, this one starts sanitizing it all over again and doing whatever it is. And then this nurse comes in and she's doing it so slow. God dang, like, you know, when I'm a newborn mom. Okay, everything was just like, you know, out of control. Because A, I'm a newborn. A, I had a newborn. I just gave birth. B, I was going through postpartum. C, when I went through postpartum, guys, it was a roller coaster ride. When I say that, I mean it was a roller coaster ride. I don't know, maybe I'll do like a video on my postpartum journey later on. It was crazy. My postpartum journey was crazy, guys. It was something that I never even imagined could happen to me, you know. And then my daughter is sick, so now I'm freaking out, and the nurses don't know what they're doing. The nurses are just having a conversation with each other, like, oh, okay, so did you wipe this? Did you do I'm like, oh Jesus, come on, like, you know. So she sticks a needle, and guess what, guys? No blood comes out. And my daughter is wailing. And then this other nurse goes, hold on, let's try the leg. So now they tried same procedure on the foot now. And then they do it. And again, No blood. Imagine what I must be going through. Like, I was literally crying. I was crying with my baby. I was like, oh my, because I hear my baby crying and I'm over here crying, you know, and the nurses are not making things any better, neither for me nor for my daughter. So we were just like, you know, crying. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then this nurse just kept saying, ma'am, calm down, ma'am, calm down. I was like, no, I ain't gonna calm down when I see my daughter crying like that. Like, you know, and you guys don't seem to know what you are actually doing. And then, so now my daughter's got, like, you know, shot in 2 places. And then they're going for another one, the other leg. Then they do it again. This time it doesn't work again. By this point, I was ready to just grab my baby and run out of the hospital. I don't care what they were gonna say. But, you know, I had to keep my beep together. And then I said, can I speak to another person, like a doctor? And they said, okay. And then they called this other lady. So she's like, you know, she was like a supervisor or something, or I don't know. And then she looked at it, and then she said, oh, okay, so there's no blood coming out. And then she called for this other guy, like other guy nurse. So now he comes in, and now he's doing it, and then boom, he gets it right away. I'm like, so my daughter had to go through the hands of like 4 different people for her to finally get her blood drawn. You know, I get it, it might be difficult, but you know, if it's not happening with you, then just go tell somebody else. Like, do you know what I mean? If it's not, you know, if that's just not, you know, your thing, or like, you know, if you cannot do it, or if you're unable to do it, go call for help. It's a freaking toddler. I mean, it's a freaking infant. It's like a crying infant, wailing. Then, you know, at last, then when they got everything done, then they said that they had to give the baby like a shot in the back or something, again, to do what God knows what. By this point, I was like, you know, I'm not gonna do it. But then the doctor was like, you have to do it, you know, this is a procedure, because when a newborn has a fever, then we have to go through this procedure to make sure that, you know, nothing is actually serious or critical. So I'm over here thinking, Jesus Lord, like, please, you know, let's just get this done with. And then so the doctor sends me out. I mean, I don't blame her, you know, I was a freaking wreck. You know, I was like all over the place, crying, like, you know, almost yelling at the nurses, showing anger, this, that, because I was panicking. I had all emotions going on in like at once. So now I'm over here thinking, all right, fine, you know, I went out. I'm a little calm. Like, I'm glad I actually went out, because I didn't really get to see what they were doing, or because if I did, then I would freak out again. But then at the same time, I was freaking out what they were doing with my daughter, like if she's crying or if she's okay. But you know, I just got my beep together, and then they call us back again, and then, you know, we go in, and then the nurse is like, all right, so ma'am, we're gonna have to ask you to stay here for 3 days. And I'm like, what? So again, they said we have to put your daughter you know, under watch for 3 days to see what actually happened until we get the test results. So we were at the hospital for 3 days. And you know, I mean, she was feeding, I mean, you know, she was feeding well. She was not fussy. She was not crying. You know, it's not like she was not peeing or pooping. Everything was normal. You know, when your infant is sick, they weigh the diaper after she pees. So, you know, every time they weigh the diaper to see, you know, if she's peeing normally or pooping normally, everything came out fine. But, you know, they just said, you know, we just have to make sure that she's okay. So then, you know, you're going to have to stay there. And I was like, all right, fine. You know, I'm cool with it as long as, you know, it's just going to keep my daughter safe. And guys, let me tell you, those 3 days that the nurses were there, you know, I mean, my child was there. Nurses kept coming in and out to, you know, give her antibiotics and check her temperature regularly. And then, you know, this thought popped in my head. Every time the nurses take her temperature, it's coming out normal. But when I took it, it always came out higher than what it came, you know, when the nurses took it. So at this point, I'm starting to actually wonder. And now I'm like, Jesus Christ, please don't tell me that, you know, it's my fault. So I checked the temperature only once, and then after I got that result, I was just out the door. I was just like, whoosh, like, you know. It was actually my mistake. Like, I should have actually stopped and waited for a bit, you know, to see like what was actually wrong with her, as in, like, you know, to see, you know, I mean, if she wasn't feeding well, if she wasn't pooping, if she wasn't like peeing well, like normally, then I could have like panicked. But as a first time new mom, I was just like, you know, 101 whatever it is, I was out the door. That was my biggest regret. It still is, but you know, I was just learning that time. I was a new first time mom, you know. I actually put my daughter through that pain, I guess, like, you know, that uncomfortableness. That's what irks me. I'm just like, God dang, like, you know, I was so stupid. Like, how the flick I can be, like, you know, can I be that stupid to not calm down and then just take things slowly, you know, without panicking. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, they found nothing wrong. They actually found something wrong with the thermometer. I don't know if I should say the name of the thermometer, but I might as well just say it so that nobody else, like, you know, goes through the pain that I went through, or, you know, puts their child through the pain that my child went through. It was called like Safety First. I don't have it with me. It was long gone. I don't have it with me, but it was called Safety First. If I do have it, I'll post a picture on my daughter's Instagram or something. But, you know, it was called Safety First. It came in a box because when my daughter was first born, I bought it in a set, like, you know, with nail cutters and her brush and thermometer and this and that. So yeah, it came with that. And then, like, you know, so hopefully nobody else goes through this thing, you know, that I went through. And here's to all the new first-time moms. Don't make that mistake. You know, if you feel like your daughter, your son, you know, your newborn's getting sick, just make sure to, like, I guess at least have 2 different thermometers so that you can, like, you know, compare. Because me, I only had one, and as soon as I got the result, you know, I was just out the door. And then when I got to the hospital, they were like, she's fine. But then, you know, so it's always best to stay safe. Of course, you know, it's better safe than sorry, but then not, you know, before you know, take any precaution. Because for me, I didn't. I was just like, you know. So my advice to every new moms out there, get 2 different thermometers and, you know, just check it, like, you know, it's fine, so that you have like 2 opinions. You know how they say, like, you know, before you go anything, it's always best to get like a second opinion, kind of sort of like that. So that's my story on how I really regret putting my daughter through that pain. I still do, but, you know, I try not to like give myself a hard time thinking about that, because, you know, it's long gone. It's almost like, what, like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So, you know, it's all fine. She's fine. Everything came out fine. So that's just what I'm thankful for, you know. So thank you guys for listening to my story. How do you feel right now? Baby. Baby. Hey.
That's a fall. Let's go.
Baby, I'm taking an interview. How do you feel right now?
red card phone.
Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out today's video. Actually, this video. You know, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. But then, you know, to everybody out there watching this video, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that like button, comment if you have any questions, concerns, whatever it may be, or any ideas about my next video, anything. So make sure to like, comment, share this video as much as you can so that it reaches out to all new moms, and you know, so they don't make the mistake that I made. And subscribe so that you guys can actually watch a lot of the videos that I post in the future. And having said that, please do not forget to turn on your post notification, the bell button, so that every time I post something, you guys get a notification and you guys don't miss out any of my videos. All right guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.